How do everyone, and welcome back to Royville Reads. My name is Stefan, and I've been reading, but I've also been buying, and I have a mega stack of books, and so I figured I would show them, and maybe if you are interested in something, put down in the comments what you want me to read next if it's something from here. Other than that, the stack is precariously close to my camera, so without further ado, and it's a mega haul for me. There is a lot of books, also different types of books. So if you stay till the end, yeah, more power to you. I wish I had a prize for you, but maybe if we get a few more subscribers. Anyway, shameless plug. So, I'm gonna get the first book here. Okay. So first book I got is John Le Carre, Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. I started reading The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. And so, yeah. So I decided to continue on. Big spy fiction guy. I saw these at a game store, and I'm a fan of a setting more than the game, a setting called Warhammer 40K, and I really like their Horus Heresy books. I sadly got out of them early on because they were coming out with way too many of them. And now, because of the way they print their books, I guess, and how rare they are ridiculously cost preventative for anyone to buy. It is ridiculous how much. Like a paperback is like $100 at sometimes. But I did find these. This is like at the end of the series. There's the Siege of Terra. And these are the first 3 books. I didn't know there were 7 books, so I'll probably... Yeah, I went online to see what I should read, because with like 50 some books, you don't have to read all of them. There was like 9 books that you need to read, so maybe I can try to find audio versions of them and then read these. But yeah, so this is the Siege of Terra. And number 1, the Solar War, the First Wall, and the Lost and the Damned. If you like high octane battle, military, dead emperor gods, and huge space marines slugging it out, yeah, that series is for you. All right, so the next book is just a quick book I got from Half Price. It's called The Shadow Riders by Louis L'Amour. If you are a longtime listener to the channel, you will know that I have read a Louis L'Amour book, and did not really appeal to me. However, my wife and I watched the Western, obviously made for TV movie of this, and you can probably tell that looks a lot like Tom Selleck and less like Sam Elliott. So, but yeah, so Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott were in it. We kind of liked it, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to check out the book and see if it's better than the other book I read. So yeah. I have been trying to get through a little bit. I started getting through a little bit of the relaunch of DS9. So the first book I didn't have was Star Trek The Many Lives of Dax. I thought it was written by one person, but I guess it's an anthology written by multiple people. So that will hopefully be interesting. I might read it before I start reading other things in the relaunch series, but it'd kind of be like going back. So we'll see. Sorry about the chair. And once again, continuing the relaunch series, I got Mission Gamma. Some of these I got from online retailer. I was able to find. Actually, I think all of these I got from an online retailer. Sadly, well, I'll get to it. So that is the 4-book series. This is after that big omnibus I'm reading. And it is just 4 books. So we got Twilight, The Gray Spirit, Cathedral, and Lesser Evil. And they're all written by different people. But I'm really liking the DS9 relaunch. So yeah. I will say that it's very interesting because this book is listed on their website as in good condition. And if you can see here, the cover is being held on by like Scotch tape. So, and here, and here. So yeah, I'm not sure if my good condition would be their good condition, but very interesting. I mean, it's still very readable. I mean, it's almost kind of like white pages, but yeah. So if I can find a better copy eventually, I will. I got into I was in a class in college, and I had to read a Raymond Chandler book, and I really liked it. So I did find these, and they're in kind of the same style. So I picked them up. We got The Long Goodbye, which is a very famous, in my understanding, Raymond Chandler book. And then I also picked up Farewell, My Lovely. And so kind of excited to read these, maybe collect more once I get these done. But like that. I've read a couple Charles DeLint books. He writes mostly like modern fairy tales, urban fantasy. And this one, Jack of Kinrowan. I think it's kind of like a Jack and the Beanstalk style adventure, only kind of modern day. So I've been kind of toying with the idea of picking it up for years, and it was a good price at a used bookstore, so I picked it up. All right, so those are there's one more, but those are the books that I picked up. Now we'll go into some of the comic book collections that I picked up recently. I am a King Arthur fan, so this kind of made me interested. It is Camelot 300. Basically, in the year 300, there's like this invasion of Earth, and so there's like this invasion of Earth. There's one of the aliens invading Earth, and because of that, it was always said that Arthur would come back when Britain needed him. Well, guess what? We need you. We're being invaded by aliens. So it's like a sci-fi King Arthur Camelot tale. Thought that was pretty cool. So decided to give that a shot. I've got a number of DC Finest that I picked up. This one, Team Ups, The Impossible Escape. And it covers a lot of Brave and the Bold and Super Team Family. So a lot of Batman teaming up with DC heroes, and DC Finest always tells you kind of the years that these books came out. So 1973 to 1976. If you don't know, I was born in 1974, so that's kind of cool. Next book is one of my favorite DC worlds, one of my favorite kind of fantasy sci-fi worlds of all time, and that is Jack Kirby's Fourth World. So they have the first DC Finest collection for them, When the Old Gods Die. And it covers Mr. Miracle, New Gods, and the Forever People, and some various books like Jimmy Olsen, because I think the New Gods were actually introduced in Jimmy Olsen, and a Lois Lane book. Never read that. Don't know what she has to do with the New Gods, but yeah. And this is 1970 to 1971. Fourth World. Can't wait to dig into that one. I can't wait to dig into a lot of these, so that's maybe why I need some help figuring out what to read next. One of my favorite characters is Dick Grayson. So if you're a longtime fan of the channel, you will know that. So I did pick up DC's Finest Robin, The Origin of Robin. And you can see here some of the titles. And it's interesting because it goes from basically him being if I can find a good picture of him. Geez, where's he at? It's his own book and he's not even in the thing. Yeah, so he's kind of like more of a younger, like teenage hero here. And then towards the end of it, to me, he looks very like young adult, maybe in his late teens, early 20s here. So it looks like he kind of grows up in this book, and that is 1964 to 1976. So yeah, that's interesting. Pretty famous cover in my opinion of one of the, I think that was, no, it's not on the back. I thought that was a Batman book, but not exactly sure. Anyway, so Robin. I wonder if they're going to keep these like Robins. I kind of think it's going to be anybody named Robin. So this is Robin, the origin of Robin, but they might have Robin Tim Drake, Robin Jason Todd. Sorry, all you 4 Jason Todd fans. And heck, even Robin Stephanie Brown. Look it up, kids. All right, so the next DC Finest I have is Dead Man. How many times can a guy die? So yeah, that one, I've never read a lot of Dead Man, but I've been getting into the dark side of DC with Constantine and the like. So, and Justice League Dark, I was reading that for a while. So yeah, so here's some of the covers for Dead Man. The only problem with these older issues is there is a lot of reading to do. Not that that's a bad thing, obviously, but it's definitely different than modern comics where you could have like 4 splash pages of some guy hitting someone. And this is actually more novelistic, in my opinion. But these are stories from 1967 to 1977. So 10-year span of Dead Man. All right, so the last DC Finest I have that I got recently was DC Finest Supergirl, Die and Let Live. And I think this is still Matrix. Not, oh, no. So, in this volume, Linda. So it isn't Matrix. Matrix does return, but it is Linda Danvers. So that's pretty cool. I'm a fan of Linda Danvers. Written by the late, great Peter David. I am a fan of Peter David's writing in all of its forms. He has done a lot of great Star Trek books. He has also done a lot of great comic books. So, yeah. So, Supergirl, Die and Let Live. All right. So, those are all the DC finest that I picked up recently. Now, I have a couple Omnis, larger format comics. I did like the Swamp Thing. I watched the 80s movie way back in the day. But I never really read any Swamp Thing, except for a little bit. They did kind of a crossover story with Animal Man in 52, which I liked. But since I read the first Hellblazer Omni, I really liked what they did with Swamp Thing there, and I wanted to read a lot more of it. So this one is The Swamp Thing by Ram V and Mike Perkins. Sadly, this is not Alec Holland, which is the Swamp Thing that I know. It is a different Swamp Thing. I hear it's still critically acclaimed, but yeah, I can't. So Levi Kame is the Swamp Thing in this. So I'm excited to read it, but I kind of wished it was Alec Holland, but we'll see. Hopefully it's good. The next book is maybe something that you wouldn't be too familiar with. This is The Department of Truth. It is an indie comic. This is the second volume. I highly, it's a image book. I highly recommend it. This is written by, of course, I'm going to forget the guy's name, Tynan. Thank you. James Tynan the fourth, very critically acclaimed. He has done a lot of good books. Wrote some of the Justice League Dark that I like. He writes the World Tree comic. Once again, my favorite comic that I have no idea what's going on. This is a great story. The art is really evocative of the setting. It's basically conspiracies. The more people believe a conspiracy, the more it is true. And this Department of Truth agency by the U.S. government tries to maintain the status quo. And they're the good guys when they need to be, and they're the bad guys when they want to be. So yeah, this is really good. Highly recommend it. And I think the first volume is still in print. So there you go. So those are my comics. Now, so I've gotten books, I've gotten trade collections, omnis, stuff like that. What other types of things am I reading? Well, I like role-playing games. Actually, behind these books is a lot of role-playing game material. And as I said earlier, I am a fan of King Arthur. My wife is a fan of the King Arthur mythos. And so one of the games that we want to try is called Pendragon, about Arthurian legend. And it is a game by Greg Stafford, the late great Greg Stafford. And it is published by Chaosium, and so I picked up a couple of books I didn't have for that. This is the Sauvage, the Chivage, the Sausage King of Chicago. It is a role-playing sandbox style adventure. So there's the Sausage King of Chicago. I got the Game Master screen pack so that I can roll and lie to the players like every good DM should. And it has a couple books in it, maybe an adventure, very well done. Very hard. I love good hard cardboard screens. I know back in the day when we were role playing in the 80s, we had these flimsy little cardboard screens and we loved it. Well, I love the big cardboard screens nowadays. And the last book I got, which I haven't opened it yet, is the Pendragon Game Master's Handbook. And I'm thinking there are adventures. There's a couple scenarios in here and a lot of expanded rules for running battles, it says. More beasts and magic, in-depth discussion of religion and magic. So yeah, I cannot wait to crack this baby open. So yeah, Pendragon. All right. So the last book I got was, okay, so Pendragon, right? I guess I'm also just a fantasy, I'm into my Vikings. So there's a game that we just started trying out called Fate of the Norns. We're still trying to get into it. It's a instead of rolling dice, you cast your weird by pulling runes, and it is a very interesting and great evocative way to have a role-playing game. Really into it. We've only played one session so far, so we're still kind of seeing if this thing's for us, but I really thought it was interesting. And I've had the base game for over 10 years, and I've never ran it. So, and I've just been buying stuff as it's been coming out. So the last book I got was from, so hold on, I'm going to try to do this without knocking the camera over because this thing's heavy. All right. Okay. Sorry, shaky cam. So this is the box set for the city of Athkaliah. I don't know how to pronounce it. If you do, please let me know in the comments. A historic Celtic RPG game. If you want to know what's in it, let me know, and I could do kind of a unboxing of what's in it. But this thing probably weighs 40 pounds. It is massive. It is jam-packed with stuff in it. It is really cool. So they also came out with a tie-in book, The One-Eyed King. And this is written by Ed Greenwood. If anybody is familiar with Forgotten Realms, that was his baby. He has written many Forgotten Realms novels, Elminster being probably his number one tool for adventure, the character. And so he spoke with the owner. I don't know how they got together, but he spoke with the creator of Fate of the Norns. Really liked it, got into it. He helped write some of the stuff in the box set, but he also wrote for them a novel. And it's a pretty short novel. I think it's only like 100 some pages, like 180 pages. So yeah, so that's very, very interesting. I had to pick up the novel when I picked up the game because I'm trying to get everything for the game, even though we've only ran it once. But yeah, so there you have it. If you're still here 24 minutes later, that's my epic book haul for July 6th. I'm recording this on July 5th, but July 6th. So yeah, if any of those things really you really liked, let me know down in the comments. If there's something you really want me to dive into first, let me know, and I will try to give that a read, put it to the top of the pile. If you wanted to see what's in that box set, let me know as well. I can do a video on that and kind of intersperse that onto a Monday. And until next time, everybody, you got your library of books, but hey, you can never have too many, right? Keep buying, keep reading. Rescue those books from those crazy, crazy cage stores that they're in. Thanks, everybody.